Betrayal uncovered. Commander Maya Chen moved silently through the ventilation shaft of the Galactic Council's central archives. Her nanomesh suit absorbed sound and masked her heat signature, technologies officially beyond human capability according to Council records. The irony wasn't lost on her as she bypassed another security node using quantum decryption algorithms that, according to those same records, humans wouldn't develop for another century. The Council had always underestimated humanity. Today, they would learn the cost of that mistake. Approaching the secure server room, she whispered into her subvocal communicator, "Any changes to guard rotations?" "Negative," came the immediate response from her handler, Admiral Jackson, stationed aboard the cloaked ship Phantom at the edge of the Proxima system. "You have a 7-minute window. Make it count." Maya reached the access panel and carefully removed it. Below, the central data core of the Galactic Council pulsed with blue light, its crystalline structure containing the secrets of 27 species spread across 3 galactic arms. She dropped silently to the floor and inserted a quantum spike into the nearest terminal. "I'm in." Beginning data extraction. The screen before her flickered as the spike bypassed multiple security layers. Maya had trained for this mission for 5 years, ever since intelligence suggested the Council wasn't the benevolent unifying force it claimed to be. Earth had joined the galactic community 70 years ago as a developing species, subject to technological restrictions and limited representation. For decades, humans had played the part of grateful newcomers while secretly preparing for the betrayal they suspected would eventually come. "What the hell?" Maya muttered as data streamed across her display. "Admiral, are you seeing this?" "Confirmed." Jackson's voice was tight with controlled rage. "Complete the download. We need everything." Maya worked quickly, copying terabytes of classified communications. The evidence was damning. The Council had struck a deal with the aggressive Crenary Empire. In exchange for sparing the 18 core Council worlds, they would allow the Crenary to cleanse the outer systems, including Earth and its colonies. An alert flashed on her wrist display. "Security sweep approaching. 2 minutes early. Abort the remaining download," Jackson ordered. "We have enough. Get out now." Maya disconnected the spike and retreated to the ventilation shaft. As she sealed the panel behind her, the door to the server room slid open, admitting 2 Valfusion guards. Their elongated sensory appendages twitched as if detecting something amiss, but Maya was already moving through the ductwork toward her extraction point. 30 minutes later, she was aboard a diplomatic shuttle registered to Earth's Trade Commission, mixing with legitimate human representatives leaving the Council station. No one questioned the credentials of another human bureaucrat, and soon she was rendezvousing with the Phantom at the designated coordinates. "The President has called an emergency session of the Defense Council," Admiral Jackson informed her as technicians secured the stolen data. "We'll be back in Sol system in 18 hours using the prototype jump drive." Maya nodded, still processing what she'd discovered. "They're selling us out. After all our contributions, all our cooperation." Jackson's weathered face hardened. "They never saw us as equals, Commander. Just as useful primitives to be discarded when convenient." He gestured to the data core, but they never bothered to check what this primitive species was doing behind closed doors. The Defense Council chamber, buried 2 kilometers beneath New Geneva, hummed with tension as Admiral Jackson completed his briefing. "The timeline is accelerated," he concluded grimly. "Based on the intercepted communications, the Crenary fleet will reach our outer colonies within 72 hours. Their main force will arrive at Sol in approximately 1 week." President Elena Diaz, elected just 6 months prior, maintained her composure despite the shocking revelation, and the Council's official position. They scheduled a routine status update with Earth for next week. Foreign Secretary Okafor replied, disgust evident in his voice. "Conveniently after the Crenary will have arrived." Defense Minister Wei tapped his console, bringing up a holographic display of the approaching Crenary Armada. Their fleet consists of approximately 300 capital ships and over 1,000 support vessels. Based on our intelligence, their technology surpasses our publicly acknowledged capabilities. The emphasis on publicly acknowledged wasn't missed by anyone in the room. For 60 years, Earth had maintained two technological tracks. The official one, compliant with Council restrictions, and the classified one, developed in secret facilities throughout the solar system and hidden colonies. Then it's time, President Dias said after a moment of silence. Activate Project Prometheus. All of it. A ripple of murmurs passed through the chamber. Project Prometheus wasn't a single weapon or defense system. It was humanity's comprehensive contingency plan for exactly this scenario: betrayal by the Galactic Council. Admiral Jackson nodded. I'll issue the activation codes immediately. The Ghost Fleet can be fully operational within 48 hours. Planetary defense systems are already at standby alert. What about the Council representatives currently on Earth? Asked Secretary Okafor. Detain them, the President ordered, politely but firmly. No communications out. I want our response to come as a complete surprise. General Martinez, commander of Earth's ground forces, leaned forward. Madam President, once we activate Prometheus, there's no going back. We'll be violating at least 37 Council technology prohibitions. President Dias smiled thinly. I believe the Council's death sentence against our species has already rendered those agreements null and void, General. She stood, and the others rose with her. Ladies and gentlemen, for 70 years we've played the role assigned to us. The eager students, the grateful newcomers to the galactic stage, all while preparing for this day. Her voice hardened. Humanity will not go quietly. Implement all phases of Project Prometheus. Let's show the galaxy what humans are truly capable of. Captain Elijah Stern stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching as the massive ship came to life around him. For 15 years, the vessel had remained hidden within the hollowed-out core of Ceres, along with 30 other warships of similar size, the vanguard of humanity's Ghost Fleet. All systems online, Captain, reported his XO, Commander Sanvi Patil. Fusion reactors at optimal levels. Quantum shields initialized. Weapon systems ready for deployment. Elijah nodded, still adjusting to the reality that the day had finally come. Like everyone assigned to the Ghost Fleet, he had lived a double life, officially captaining a standard Earth Defense Force corvette, while secretly training for his true command. Status of the rest of Battle Group Alpha? He asked. All 7 capital ships report ready for departure, Sanvi replied. Support vessels will follow within the hour. Elijah activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the captain. For years we've trained for a day we hope would never come. That day is here. He paused, allowing his words to sink in. The Galactic Council has betrayed humanity. They've made a deal with the Cranary Empire to allow the extinction of our species. He could almost feel the collective anger rippling through his crew. But they've made a critical error, he continued. They believe they know our capabilities. They've cataloged our official fleet, the ships we let them see. They have no idea what's waiting for them. His voice grew fiercer. Today, we show the galaxy that humanity will not be sacrificed. We will not be erased. Prepare for departure. Stern out. As the Defiant and its sister ships prepared to emerge from hiding, similar scenes played out across the solar system. Beneath the icy surface of Europa, massive defense platforms activated. In the clouds of Venus, automated weapons factories accelerated production. Throughout the asteroid belt, hidden shipyards revealed vessels armed with technologies the Council thought impossible for humans to develop. 3 days later, long-range sensors detected the first wave of the Cranary fleet entering the Oort cloud. As planned, they encountered no resistance, no warning of what awaited them. Earth's official defenses remained conspicuously inactive, reinforcing the Cranary commander's belief that their attack would be swift and decisive. When the invasion force reached the orbit of Neptune, they finally received a response, though not the one they expected. From the bridge of the Defiant, now positioned with Battle Group Alpha behind the cover of Jupiter's magnetic field. Captain Stern watched as Admiral Jackson delivered humanity's message. The transmission was broadcast not only to the approaching Crenary fleet, but to every Council world, bypassing official channels using quantum entanglement communicators that the Council thought were centuries beyond human science. Admiral Jackson's face, calm but resolute, appeared on screens across the galaxy. To the commanders of the Crenary fleet and the leaders of the Galactic Council, we know of your agreement. We know of your betrayal. We have witnessed your decision to sacrifice Earth and its colonies to save yourselves. The Admiral's expression hardened. You believed us vulnerable. You believed us ignorant. You were wrong. For 70 years, we have prepared for this moment, the moment when your true intentions would be revealed. The image shifted to show the Ghost Fleet emerging from hiding, hundreds of warships that no Council registry had ever recorded. This is your only warning. Retreat from Sol system immediately. You have 24 hours. After that, we will demonstrate exactly what humanity is capable of when threatened with extinction. The transmission ended, leaving silence in its wake. On the bridge of the Defiant, Captain Stern turned to his XO. Now we wait, he said quietly, and see if they're wise enough to run. Commander Patel checked the tactical display, showing the Crenary fleet's position. They're not changing course, sir. They're still coming. Stern nodded grimly. Then they've made their choice. He opened a channel to the rest of Battle Group Alpha. All ships, this is Captain Stern. Prepare for combat operations. 24 hours from now, we make history. Throughout the solar system, humanity's hidden forces moved into position. The trap was set, and if the Crenary fleet continued its advance, they would soon discover why challenging humanity was the last mistake they would ever make. Humanity unleashed. The 24-hour ultimatum expired with the Crenary fleet still on course for Earth. In the war room beneath New Geneva, President Diaz received the final confirmation. They've ignored our warning, Admiral Jackson reported. The main fleet has passed Neptune's orbit and is accelerating. Their current formation suggests they're preparing for a standard overwhelm and occupy strategy. President Diaz nodded, unsurprised. The Crenary have subjugated 17 species over the last century. They've never encountered meaningful resistance. She looked around the table at Earth's military leadership. Let's change that. Execute Operation Thunderbolt. Throughout the solar system, commanders received their activation codes. The waiting was over. Captain Stern stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching the tactical display as the Crenary fleet approached Jupiter's orbit. They're maintaining their current vector, his tactical officer reported. No sign they've detected our position. What about their scanning? Stern asked. Conventional EM and gravitational sweeps only, Commander Patel replied. They haven't yet deployed quantum sensors. Stern nodded. The Crenary, like the Council, believe humans lacked quantum detection technology. It was one of many misconceptions that was about to prove fatal. Battle Group Alpha, this is Captain Stern. Execute jump sequence on my mark. He took a breath, feeling the weight of history. 3, 2, 1. Mark. Across Jupiter's orbit, 7 massive warships vanished simultaneously, exploiting a quirk of spacetime that Council physicists had deemed theoretically impossible. Moments later, they reappeared directly behind the Crenary fleet. All ships, weapons free, Stern ordered. Target their command vessels and propulsion systems. The Defiant shuddered as its main batteries unleashed torrents of hyperaccelerated plasma. Across the formation, the other ships of Battle Group Alpha opened fire as well. The Crenary, caught completely by surprise, had no time to raise their shields before the first salvos struck home. Aboard the Crenary flagship Eternal Conquest, Supreme Commander Vorak reeled as explosions rocked his vessel. How did they get behind us? He demanded, his violet skin darkening with rage. Where did these ships come from? His tactical officer frantically worked his console. Unknown, Commander. They're not in any council registry. Their energy signatures exceed anything humans should possess. Return fire, Vorak ordered. Launch all fighter squadrons. Inform the council we're engaging the human fleet. But the communication officer shook his head. Our quantum relay has been destroyed. We can't reach council space. As the Crenary fleet struggled to reorganize under the sudden assault, Phase 2 of Operation Thunderbolt began. From hiding places throughout the asteroid belt, smaller attack craft emerged, swarming toward the Crenary formation. Unlike traditional fighters, these vessels were controlled by a hybrid of AI and remote human pilots, allowing for reaction times and coordination no purely organic crew could match. Swarm units engage, reported General Santos from her command center on Ceres, targeting enemy point defense systems and sensor arrays. President Dias watched the battle unfold on the holographic display and the ghost platforms. Activating now, Admiral Jackson confirmed. Throughout the outer solar system, what had appeared to be ordinary asteroids suddenly changed course, revealing themselves as massive weapons platforms. They moved to encircle the Crenary fleet, cutting off any retreat. On the Defiant, Captain Stern received an incoming transmission from the Crenary flagship. "Put it through," he ordered. The image of Supreme Commander Vorak appeared on screen, his expression a mixture of rage and disbelief. "What is this trickery? These technologies are beyond your species' capability." "A common misconception," Stern replied coldly. "One deliberately cultivated. You see, Commander, from the moment we joined the Galactic Council, we suspected their true nature. So while we played the role of the grateful primitive species, we prepared. You've hidden these capabilities for 70 years. Vorak sounded incredulous. "And more," Stern confirmed. "What you're seeing is only our first line of defense. Stand down your fleet, or discover what else we've been developing in secret." Vorak's expression hardened. "The Crenary do not surrender. Your species was judged expendable by the Council. Your fate is sealed." The transmission cut off. Stern turned to Commander Patel. "They're going to try to break through to Earth." "Let them try," she replied grimly. In the Council chamber on Proxima Station, pandemonium reigned. Emergency sessions had been called as the humans' transmission and subsequent footage of their hidden fleet spread throughout Council space. "How is this possible?" demanded Councillor Thex of the Valfusian Confederation. "Our technological assessment teams assured us humans were at least a century away from quantum weaponry." High Chancellor Morrow of the Alteran Republic, the most senior member of the Council, looked ashen. "They deceived us. All these years. What matters now," said Councillor Jen of the Toron Collective, "is how we respond. The humans know of our arrangement with the Crenary. They've broadcast the evidence to every world in Council space. Public demonstrations have already begun on 17 planets," reported the Council's security chief. "The outer colonies are in open revolt, demanding explanations." High Chancellor Morrow slumped in his seat. This could be the end of the Council as we know it. As if in answer to his words, a new transmission cut through their communications. President Dias's face appeared before them, her expression stern and uncompromising. "Members of the Galactic Council, by now you have witnessed the beginning of our response to your betrayal. The Crenary fleet you sent to destroy us is being systematically dismantled." The display shifted to show the battle in the outer Sol system. Crenary vessels burned and exploded as Earth's hidden fleet pressed its advantage. "For 7 decades, you underestimated humanity," Dias continued. "You saw what we wanted you to see. You measured what we allowed you to measure. And all the while, we prepared for this day. The day your true intentions would be revealed." Her voice hardened. "Now you face a choice. In 1 hour, quantum beacons will activate near every Council homeworld. Each contains irrefutable evidence of your conspiracy against Earth and the outer colonies. Each also carries a demonstration of technologies you believe beyond our reach." High Chancellor Morrow trembled. "What is she saying?" "I am offering you one chance," President Dias continued. "Dissolve the current Council leadership. Withdraw all support from the Crenary Empire. Acknowledge the full sovereign rights of Earth and all human colonies. Her eyes narrowed. Refuse, and discover what else we've kept hidden. You have 6 hours to respond. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. We should comply, Councillor Zhen said finally. If they've concealed this level of military technology, who knows what else they've developed? Capitulation is unthinkable, protested Councillor Thex. We are the Galactic Council. We've governed interstellar civilization for a millennium. High Chancellor Morrow raised a weary hand. And perhaps that governance has come to its natural end. He looked around the chamber. We conspired to sacrifice billions of sentient beings. We violated our most sacred principles. Perhaps we no longer deserve to lead. Back in the Sol system, the battle had turned into a rout. The Crenary fleet, for all its fearsome reputation, found itself outmatched by technologies they'd never encountered. Quantum-shifted torpedoes bypassed their shields completely. Graviton disruptors left their most powerful vessels drifting and vulnerable. A-driven targeting systems anticipated their evasive maneuvers before they executed them. Supreme Commander Vorak watched in horror as his mighty armada was reduced to scattered remnants. 3/4 of his ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest were surrounded, with no hope of escape. Prepare the phase bomb, he ordered, his voice hollow with defeat. If we must die, we will take these humans with us. His weapons officer hesitated. Commander, a phase bomb detonation this close to the gas giant could trigger a chain reaction. It could destroy the entire system, including our remaining ships. I gave you an order. Vorak snarled. The Crenary do not accept defeat. On the Defiant, the sensors detected the energy buildup immediately. They're arming a phase bomb, Commander Pottle reported urgently. Destructive potential well beyond conventional antimatter weapons. Captain Stern's expression hardened. Deploy the containment field. All ships fall back to minimum safe distance. As the Crenary flagship prepared to unleash its final desperate attack, a shimmering bubble of energy enveloped it. Another technology humans had developed in secret. The phase bomb detonated, but instead of spreading outward, the explosion collapsed inward, consuming only the eternal conquest itself. Vorak had time for one final expression of disbelief before his ship imploded, leaving nothing but scattered particles where the mighty Crenary flagship had been. The remaining Crenary vessels, witnessing their commander's destruction and the futility of further resistance, began powering down their weapon systems, the closest thing to surrender their culture allowed. 5 hours after President Diaz's ultimatum, the response came, not from the Council as a body, but from individual member worlds. One by one, they announced their withdrawal from the current Council structure and their recognition of Earth's sovereignty. By the deadline, 16 of the 18 core worlds had complied. The remaining 2, homeworlds of the Council's founding species, maintained a defiant silence. True to her word, President Diaz activated the quantum beacons, but instead of the threatened demonstrations, the devices merely broadcast evidence of Council corruption, not just against Earth, but against dozens of other species over centuries of rule. In the war room beneath New Geneva, Admiral Jackson approached the President as the reports confirmed the capitulation of most Council worlds. Why not show them the dimensional phasing technology? He asked quietly. After the Council's betrayal, they deserve to know what would have happened if they'd refused. President Diaz shook her head. Some technology should remain hidden until needed. The threat was enough. She turned to look at the holographic display, showing the remnants of the Crenary fleet being secured by Earth ships. Besides, humanity isn't like them. We don't destroy civilizations out of fear or convenience. What happens now? Asked Foreign Secretary Okafor. We've effectively overthrown the dominant political structure of the galaxy. Now, Diaz said, we build something better. A true coalition of equals, not a hierarchy of the powerful exploiting the vulnerable. She looked around at her advisors. For 70 years, we prepared for war. Now we need to prepare for peace, a peace where humanity takes its rightful place among the stars. 1 month later, Captain Stern stood on the observation deck of the newly established Earth Embassy on Proxima Station. The former council chamber was being renovated, its circular design replaced with an arrangement where all representatives sat as equals. Commander Patel joined him, gazing out at the stars. "Strange to be out in the open after all these years of secrecy," she remarked. Stern nodded. "I still catch myself watching what I say in mixed company." "Old habits," Patel agreed. "But it's a new era now." She gestured to a delegation of Mirathi representatives passing by, a species that had been denied council membership for centuries. "They're saying this is the dawn of the human age. I prefer to think of it as the age of truth," Stern replied. "We revealed our hidden strength when necessary, but we're choosing not to rule through fear." He turned to face his friend and colleague. "That's the real difference between us and the council. When we had the power to dominate, we chose cooperation instead." Patel smiled. "Is that humanity's greatest secret weapon? Compassion?" "Maybe," Stern said, returning his gaze to the stars. "Though I suspect we'll keep a few technological surprises in reserve, just in case." In the newly established Galactic Assembly Chamber, representatives from over 100 worlds, many never permitted into the old council, gathered to sign the new charter. At its heart was a principle that President Diaz had insisted upon: no species shall conspire against another. No civilization shall be sacrificed for the benefit of others. We rise together, or not at all. As humanity stepped fully onto the galactic stage, revealing at last its true capabilities and character, the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. The galaxy was entering a new age, one forged in the crucible of betrayal, but tempered by the unexpected mercy of a species that, when pushed to the brink of extinction, had chosen justice over vengeance. The lesson was not lost on the former council worlds: underestimate humanity at your peril. For when the stars betrayed them, humans didn't flee or surrender. They rewrote the rules of the game entirely.